And we are live. Hi. Can you hear me? I hope so. I guess the last few times it always worked. Not just quite. In a minute. Awake alive. Hello everyone. I hope everyone is doing good. Today was another time quite amazing. Like, I don't know, 14 hours we fight it to come almost to 47 cents and within about 5 or 10 minutes we dropped to, I don't know, almost 42 and something cents. That's really a pity. Let's hope once it goes up, when this golden cross or my theory gets true, that it happens the same way on the way up. Hello everyone, let's get started. Tired of not being filthy rich? So am I. As other times, I didn't prepare anything. I couldn't even give feedback. I told yesterday in the German live stream with my guest Richard from Vienna, and maybe even on the Tuesday's live stream, that many, like, the tension is rising somehow. Many people think there is about to happen something. Many, out of whatever reasons. Is that what you can share as well? Tell me. By the way, I could give you a link to check out. I will also put it into the description later on. gtgox.com. I received that link, I think, from Lars, where I had a recorded interview in German, I think about 10 days back or so. And it's actually quite an interesting site. It's all in Japanese, but on top you have translation buttons. The only thing not so nice is when once you open a new page, you need to click the translation button again. But it really has interesting information there. One I found, I didn't really dig deep into that site, but one information I found quite interesting is that PayPal had, at least in an early version of ILP, connector available on GitHub. Now it's deprecated code, but I'm pretty sure that the guys building that PayPal ILP integration also built the PayPal integration on the new version of ILP. I'm pretty sure. Bart Jans, well, that was basically, Bart is asking if you're close for takeoff. That was basically a question to you guys. I think we're not too far away. I told yesterday and maybe on Tuesday that I had a dream about a week ago or so. I think it was roughly last Thursday, a week ago. And in that dream, currently I'm off work and I will start working on the 10th of June. And in that dream I basically resigned my job. In the week I basically returned to work, which would be now in about 12 days or so. So yes, I see you also think that things are heating up. Interesting. Manuel is asking what will be the kind of the initiator of the bull run, if it'll be SPI or something else. I always told in the past I think it's SPI. However, I don't think that it'll be opening SPI for the general public, because that will happen only in July, and we don't know if it'll happen beginning of July or end of July or somewhere in the middle of July. They just said July. However, I read an interesting information, I think it was on Twitter, that SPI is, I think, maybe someone read that as well, please correct me, but I think I read SPI is opening for not retail investors, but for like institutional investors, their exchange already in June. If I'm not too wrong, I think also around the 10th of June or so. So yes, maybe that could really be the kickoff. Some still think it'll be regulation, but regulation, as we all know, I think we're not waiting for regulation. I just think we're waiting for a high price, and that needs to be triggered by something, and that could really be SPI. Regulation talks will be end of June, but until those regulations come into place, it'll be 2, 3, maybe 6 months more, I'm pretty sure. Yes, Kevin, that video was from Jungling, was actually quite an interesting video. Kevin wrote that Ripple is basically keeping the price low because institutional companies like the exchanges and everyone participating in providing liquidity is they cannot sell right now. That's why the price is still low. They have to buy OTC, and I have been discussing this with Lars also, and basically we agreed on that, and I even gave a comment on that video from Jungle Inc. that I think it fits with what, even without having this insider information he purportedly had. I had the same hunch. Yes, butterfly trader. That's what I believe. I mean, I think I said that about a week ago, in 8 weeks. So I mean, until the end of July, I'm pretty sure, pretty sure we're in the lower hundreds, most likely, if not higher already. Some guys close to me in my WhatsApp group, they think we reach over 1,000 by the 1st of July already. George, you have an interesting question. He's asking about X-Pool. Basically, there are many theories going around about X-Pool, and the one which struck me most and I think is most likely to me, the one which makes most sense is kind of like two-part. That X-Pool may be kind of like a pool of XRP most likely maintained by the Global Payment Steering Committee, those members in that steering committee, where exchanges and other institutional buyers which really require a lot of liquidity, of XRP liquidity, can pull from. And together with that, there was, from my favorite contact in a Telegram group, Love for Crypto, Simon, he had a hunch that maybe Xpool may help retrieve the Nostro accounts back to the countries, because that will obviously also require quite some XRP. There we're literally talking trillions, and I'm expecting, I mean, just so you have an idea, I could be wrong, it's really just hypothetical. UBS and Credit Suisse, the two big Swiss banks, they are for sure in this CLS group for this correspondent banking system, and they are liquidity providers with Nostro accounts. Let's assume they have each in 10 countries Nostro accounts over whatever amount of value. Then I would assume that they would withdraw maybe throughout the week from each of these countries a Nostro account. So throughout maybe 10 weeks or so, they will be pulling that money back, and that could be where Xpool is coming in. Crypto Eerie made a video about Xpool. I would be very surprised if she knows. Maybe I'm getting that wrong, Richard. Eerie made a video about Xpool. Can you repeat that? Because so far I haven't heard anyone knowing really details about what Xpool really is. Mike, well, that was just an artificial number I saw on a YouTube video. No way, what, Ruslan? We're Bearable Guy and check right. I'm assuming, Pablo Diablo, you're referring to check the Ripplers, basically constant phrase, everyone will use XRP. Maybe now I have a topic I could talk about. I was watching, I think, a video. Manuel sent me a link about the presentation from Navin Gupta at the recent event somewhere. Thank you, Manuel, for that. And even though, like, I did basically know all the content already, Navin Gupta told in that presentation, one slide struck me anyway, because I always tend to forget that. And this is actually, and I also tweeted actually to Task Group today. Remember that, I think it was last week, when this this PDF document with this Big Bang migration for ECB in Europe on 20th November 2021 was kind of published, and everyone, XRP, RippleNet and stuff. However, I couldn't find any hard proof that it's really integrating RippleNet. I think they just want to get even one step more advanced than what they are already now. However, when I went through this ECB stuff, I remembered that the Task Group is basically, together with CGI, the main provider for gateway systems, and I pulled up the latest the PDF describing their gateway, and they're doing that actually quite fancy. Like basically everything in IT, usually when it's done well, is handled. They abstract layers, and one of the layers is kind of network drivers, I think they called it. And a network driver, you can imagine it's like an adapter for power outlet for a different country, and so that you can connect to the electricity of the other country. Like German power plugs won't fit here in Switzerland, so you always need an adapter if you buy some equipment in Germany. The other way, it only works if the Swiss plug has two of these plugs. If it's a 3-plug system from Switzerland with the Erdung, I don't know how it's called in English, then you also need an adapter for Germany. And this network drive and this network service, I think, drivers, if I remember properly, they're called. They have one called, or one is for RippleNet. And in that presentation from Navin Gupta, which I was sent by Manuel, there was one slide showing that basically RippleNet and ILP can connect whole RTGS, real-time gross settlement systems. And that's, I mean, we don't even need to wait for each and every freaking bank to be on RippleNet. I'm pretty sure I think in Australia it's called new NPP, maybe correct me, new payments platform, I guess. During not swell, during this SWIFT conference which was held, I don't remember the name, but during the SWIFT conference held in Australia last year, they made proof of, basically they did an example transfer, I think, if I remember properly, between Thailand, China, or Philippines, China and Australia somehow. And SWIFT purportedly helped Australia put up this NPP somehow. And I'm pretty sure RippleNet is also connecting NPP. And for that, just one connector is enough. And that's another thing which you always need to recall when we're talking about how many customers RippleNet is having. I'm pretty sure most likely also Great Britain is connected, because they are somehow connected to the European system, but not really integrated well. And for that reason, yes, I really think we're going into the right direction, and that everyone, coming back to the question from Pablo Diablo, I really think everyone will be using XRP. Okay. Me. M Stones, I don't know Swedish. No way, 1000 per XRP, Ruslan. Ruslan, I don't like if you criticize or have criticism for my thinking. You challenge me, but then challenge me with reasoning and not just saying no way. Because with the same strength you say no way, I could say it'll be definitely over $1,000. And I apply reasoning, and most of my followers, I asked them in the last two, or at least on Tuesday, in the stream on Tuesday, if they follow my logic, and most do, and basically more or less agree with the conclusions I'm drawing. What will happen with my YouTube channel if my price prediction comes true this summer? I don't know. I really don't know. Actually, I was thinking of sometimes about doing product videos about cool products, but that would be like because my channel is not, the content right now is all XRP and blockchain related, but once we moon, I guess you're anyway not so much interested in any further information anymore. But regarding products, there are so many freaking stupid products. I really cannot understand why they're doing it that way. And then on the other hand, you buy 2 years later something similar, which is completely different, intelligently solved. I mean, everyone knows that we bought this house here, and we put, can I show that? No, I cannot show that. But there is a lamp on the I don't know, roof of my room here, and we had that lamp in the old apartment already, and the screw is so tiny, and it's like close to the ceiling, so that you can hardly fiddle with a screwdriver in there, and if you do, you can basically not screw the screwdriver anymore because it's so close to the wall. I mean, from design perspective, it looks nice, you can hardly see the screw. But to mount it, it's like a pain in the ass. And usually product designers which have a vision for a nice looking product, they totally forget the usability part. And that's basically the reason why Apple products are so popular, because they integrate both. They integrate nice design, and it always, or most of the time, works nicely. So maybe that's something I will be doing, but this will be, I won't go looking for products. And yes, Manuel, I'm pretty sure until August we see somewhere between $50 and I don't know, 500 or more. Kevin, June, July, I think it'll happen. I don't know. Usually I was wrong in the past with my time hunches. That's why I don't say. The tension is rising, but I felt that tension rising. I told it before already. I think it was end of last November, and nothing happened basically. But the same tension seems to be rising now, and maybe this golden cross helps start something. Maybe it's something else. Let me phrase it like that. I wouldn't be surprised if we were over $100 already in 4 weeks. Ruslan, where is math? You just doubt the figures. Watch my other. Actually, I made something cool today. I didn't know that, and I could give you that link. I created a public list of my most favorite, my own most favorite videos, and if I send you a link, it works better on, yes, if I send you a link, you always have the playlist on the top right with all the other, I think, really most important videos I've done in the past. Watch those, Ruslan, and you will realize, I believe $1,000 will just not be enough, at least not until the end of the year. Asset management, that could be something actually. Channel about asset management. One thing I stupidly enough learned too late. Most traders don't quite understand stop loss functionalities on trading. But actually it's a very good thing, especially in crypto. Stop loss lets you basically close a trade once it starts losing value. Okay? Let's assume you put stop loss at minus 5%. So whatever you buy drops 5%, then the trade is closed. If it continues dropping more than the spread you pay for opening a new trade, let's say 2% more, then you can open a new position with the less money than you have invested before, because you made this 5% loss basically, but because the price continues to drop, you can get in with less money, but the price is also cheaper, hence you get more items than you had before, and that's actually quite an interesting theory. So once I really made a lot of money, and I most likely will then start diversifying just to make sure that I have a constant nice income per year, then I will for sure apply this stop loss thing. This is actually something any day trader will do. Ruslan, could be, but I basically asked in past videos, like, I mean, challenge me on my concepts, but just issuing doubt doesn't help. If you give me good reason to reassess my figures and everything, I'm happy to do that. But so far I didn't hear any argument, and those I heard from Galgatron I basically could debunk. So no, I don't think I am having a confirmation bias. Ralph Raymond, no, I didn't. I actually, tomorrow will be, I think it's tomorrow. Let me quickly check in my mail. I need to open it. I participated in an AMA. It was kind of how should I say, an AMA where you could like post your questions, and it was regarding Blue Cele. And I posted a question there which has 25 upvotes in the meantime, and the question goes like that: there's a lot of confusion around Blue Cele and RippleNet. We think you act as payment gateway, correct? Is it correct also that your cash solution is not part of this gateway solution? And the reason I'm trying to receive an answer on that is basically, and I really try to educate people. Not every time Free or Corda is on a tweet it means XRP. Not every time you read Hyperledger, ILP. Those things are way bigger. Blue Cele, those recent tweets they have been making, is totally not about their gateway, payment gateway solution. It's a total different product to make databases faster. And I just wanna tell you guys, if you read a tweet which is kind of imposing some hype, go and dig, figure out from where and when the original source was. My experience is that like 100% of those crypto news sites, articles, you can totally scrap. Usually they report everything totally twisted and it's never correct. Do your own due diligence. If you're reading those articles, go and find the real source from the company's website they're reporting on, stuff like that. Otherwise, it cannot be trusted. What is your theory, Ruslan, then? Black Camel, thank you. I'm humbled. Yes, Giuseppe, this Blue Cele AMA is tomorrow. And I'm actually hoping that I could even send you the link and you check it yourself. Maybe you can even upvote it yourself. And I will also put the link into the live video thereafter. I will also put the link from Mount Gox and from my YouTube playlist. That I have to check first how I can link that. Okay, let's get back to the chat. Yes, Ralph Raymond. I wrote the article about that. At least in the app Vice developed, they're using, I don't know, some mapping. I mean, basically, I'm pretty sure they will go down a similar route as it's being done with web monetization, as Coil is being doing. Coil, where do I see that? On Coil website. I even don't remember. Explore. Log in. It doesn't work on Safari. I need to check that another time. But the payment kind of, I don't know, address Coil is using is actually quite simple. It's my Twitter account, because I linked XRP Tipbot to my Twitter account, and if I remember properly, it has the word Twitter and then some separator in it, and I'm pretty sure they're doing something similar with that for wallet addresses. I mean, in the end, I think in that video today from Navin Gupta, he basically, maybe it was somewhere else, but I think it was in that video, he basically asked the audience, did you ever care what IP address you need to send an email to? No, you don't. You enter the email address, which is usually quite easy to remember and to enter. You click send and off it goes, and it will always arrive. Okay, and that's just because the structure of the email address is it's pretty simple, but it works worldwide. It's actually quite interesting. Slim Shady, who is saying XRP will burst out by Monday? I mean, is that based on Bearable Guy's whatever? But Bearable Guy, I think, said in May, and May will end tomorrow. So on Saturday what's the source for the burst on Monday? Ruslan, I don't quite understand your theory 10 times XRP. You mean 10 times the price of now? Or please, maybe you write me on Twitter or in the comment on the video after that, Ruslan, a little bit, so that you can write a little bit more about your theory, and then we can discuss. Veteran UK tribe, no, it can't. You cannot buy right now for 50 million XRP at 40 cents. Let me pull up Bittrex. Let's assume you're sending from US, so you're using Bittrex as XRapid. Instance, okay, and now it's not coming up. What's going wrong? Is it loading? Markets. Something wrong with the Bittrex site. Anyway, I mean, in the past it was like that at I don't know, 50 million we had. If you need to buy XRP in the value of 50 million, you would be at the price half a year ago of like 589 bucks, somewhere around that already. So you cannot do that at 40 cents. Manuel Bashung is asking if the price is $5,000, if a 10-cent payment is still possible. Yes, because one XRP is divisible by 1 million. So we still have some zeros to divide. Black Camera, you're funny. Ralph Raymond, was it you who, regarding your charities idea, someone wrote me once a feedback on on one of my videos, maybe it was even you, and I think I gave an answer to that XRP may be used, something like Tipbot may be used for charities and donations. However, in Switzerland, I don't really see that as required, because the system for charities and donations is working quite well. But there may be countries where that might be easier. Could be at least some use case. I wouldn't call that use case totally, let's say, that you have to have that use case. It's definitely workable in other ways. English to me, you were a doubter too, now you're a believer. That's nice. I said what on Twitter? Veteran UK tribe. Let me scroll back. Well, watch my video about how XRP can reach 589, Veteran UK tribe, and there I basically explain it. It's the Shane Ellis theory which we're talking about. Veteran UK tribe, yes, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember if it was in the German live stream yesterday or on I think it was in both. Let me recap that quickly for those guys new here. One of my really the reason, and after that I think I will close the stream today. I think it's better if we don't make it to a full hour, just because of the connection. I think after 50 minutes it's the quality usually starts to drop. But let me explain that Veteran UK tribe. Ripple is since 2015 working to get customers on board. The first customers or system integrators they contacted were like Finastra, Temenos, CGI, Task Group, and a few others. But 5 of them I did a research upon, and they cover like 80% of the finance market in the world. Together they have 160,000 employees. If just 1% of those employees works on those Ripple technologies, we have 1,600 people working on that, just on that, okay? When we take an average of 300 people from Ripple throughout the last 3 years, not the 300 people working at Ripple have been working on that. They need people in HR, people in finance, people for marketing, people talking to regulators. The actual people talking to banks and actually doing the integrations is maybe less than 100. But let's anyway assume it's 300. So those system integrators, which cover like 80% of the market, they have like 5 times more power, more manpower. I'm pretty sure those 200 plus customers we know from Ripple are only the ones which have been served by Ripple directly. And those other system integrators, I repeat, Temenos, CGI, Task Group, Finastra, and whatever they are called, I'm pretty sure there we have at least 1,000, if not 1,200 additional customers which are on RippleNet. Comes together what I mentioned in the stream today, that RippleNet can connect whole RTGS, real-time gross settlement systems, like the one in Australia as example, NPP, New Payment Platform, which basically only requires one integration to connect the whole country, Australia. And I think quite conservative estimate for the end of the year is that we may reach 10% market share of SWIFT. I mean, if they want to have market dominance by the end of 2022, so we have like 4 years, they cannot just have 5% this year, they need at least 10% or maybe even more, because usually it's the last 20% which is the most work. So they need to make sure that in the first 3 years, 19, 20, 21, they cover at least 75 to 80% of the market. Okay, so yes, I am still on 5,000 per end of the year, and I think it's conservative. I have been discussing that with Manuel quite a lot. He had quite some doubts on my calculations for low and high value payments, and with Richard and also Lars I have been discussing a bit more closely what the value of low value payments is. And if you the problem is low value payments is not really a term used by the banks. But if you search for retail payments, you find quite some information. And the average retail payment going through whatever system, tips or Target 2 or other systems, is usually well below 1,000. My calculation was based with a value of 10,000 up to 50 million as high value payment. However, we know also from the information we have from Target 2 and tips in Europe that there are certain 1 billion or larger than $1 billion or euro payments, and the system has to make sure each and every payment goes through. They cannot do a calculation for 50 million. What will they do when then the 51 million payment comes through? That will just stall. That's a total no-go. That's like you when you drive with your car on the freeway and you're out of gas and you're going out for the next gas station and they tell you, I'm sorry, today we don't have gas. I mean, that's a total no-go. No one, it'll not work like that. So, let me quickly catch up with the questions. Veteran UK tried. Every bank has a private ledger, but there is no XRP private ledger. Forget it. Every bank has a private ledger. That's what XRapid and XCurrent is connecting, the private ledgers from the banks. It has nothing to do with XRP. Don't get me mad. Manuel, we will have a party together. XRP hard, good question, and this question is also put quite many times. How will exchanges be able to pay you out? I mean, it's the one of the market theory. A market exists where there is supply and demand. And XRapid will bring that demand. The demand will be huge, and there will be a liquid market. And in my most, what's the name of my YouTube channel? My most important videos. My I don't know. It's called the list on YouTube. There is, I think, 1 or 2 videos about market making and buy and sell walls. And there I explain that market making and market taking is a crucial component of any liquid market. It even is a job description in England, in Great Britain, market making. And basically the two types, market makers and market takers, make sure that there is a liquid market all the time. Without that, the market won't work. If you put an order to buy Apple stock and you buy it, I don't know the term anymore, best, I think just buy it at whatever price, it'll happen within the next minute or two. And why? Because there is a liquid market making and market taking. And the same thing will happen with XRP. It'll happen, it's actually even now working only with low volume, and that's why you can now cash out I don't know, a 500 or maybe even a 5,000 XRP position. In the future, when the huge million payments are going through the system, you will be able to cash out that money also. Veteran UK tribe, you do not understand. There is no private XRP ledger. No. But I even made a video about ledgers. Check my videos, please. I don't want to explain that again. Ralph, maybe you're correct that overall, that's something in the future, like in 5-10 years time from now. I see that quite possible as well, that the sum of micropayments will equal the sum of the large value payments, but that will take some time to develop. Yeah, I mean, okay, GeoXRP, I mean, if there is limits on how much you can withdraw, that could be that certain exchanges have a limit. But don't get me wrong, it's like a two-step process. One, sorry, my finger is kind of a little bit dirty from my garden work today. There is a two-step process. One step is you sell your XRP and then you get the cash into your balance, okay? And the second step is then the withdrawal. And on the withdrawal you may have a limitation. But on the selling, I don't see why they would have a limitation. Raymond Scott. That's basically what Shane Ellis told. Try to not cash out your XRP. Just wait until it's globally accepted. Okay, one last question and then I guess we close for today, and I'm hoping that we will have next Tuesday a similar vivid discussion. Today was quite interesting. Okay, that's the last question. Liechtenstein, Ralph Raymond. I want to meet, even though I think digital asset investor kind of stalled about half a year ago with his, he always was talking about Pact and all those other institutional investors which will bring the big money. It didn't happen yet. He doesn't understand that the big price increase will come through XRapid and the demand for the global payment system, for the liquidity the global payment system requires. But honestly, anyway, I would like to have a beer with that guy. He is really, I like the way he's making his videos still, even though I don't kind of watch him anymore. But Liechtenstein definitely would be a place to meet. Clipboard, last questions, then I will close. Clipboard is asking if banks, that's actually quite an interesting question, if banks care about high or low XRP value. And the answer is Clipboard, no, they don't care. They want to transact $500 and the recipient should receive, I don't know, 450 euros or whatever. What happens in between, how that conversion is taking place, they don't care. They don't care if that RippleNet process has to buy one XRP at $600 or 600 XRPs at $1. The only thing the sender cares about is that the recipient receives the appropriate amount of euro. They really don't care. So, and now I wish everyone a good time. Have a nice weekend. See you next week. Next Tuesday and Thursday, 20 hour Central European time.